Welcome back to the show. The Knicks beat the Sixers in 6. Next up, starting on Monday night at the Garden, it's the Indiana Pacers with the opportunity to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. And our next guest, as somebody has said for the longest time, that's where the Knicks are going to end up. And that is our colleague and friend, Kendrick Perkins. He joins us now. Kendrick, it's Michael, Don, and Peter. How you doing?
What's up, fellas? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
Blue sky.
What was the series against the Sixers tougher than you thought it was going to be for the Knicks?
It was, but it was a great test, right? And it was a great opportunity because I believe it was the best series in these playoffs, and I also believe that it was the best series that I've witnessed in the last 2 to 3 years. Okay, when it comes down to having to compete, when it comes down to having those one shining moments, guys having to step outside of their comfort zone and play different roles. And I'm talking about the Knicks. Josh Hart, we saw him make a big shot last night. We seen him come up with huge offensive rebounds, being a second option somewhat to Jalen Brunson. We saw the emergence of Tyrese Maxey. And I thought for the Knicks to overcome that duo of Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, and also the physicality of Nick Nurse putting Kelly Oubre and Nicholas Batum on Jalen Brunson, and the way he handled that the last, 4 games of the series, because of the way he started the first 2 games, absolutely. I mean, but it was a great series, and it was a great test for the Knicks, and it's only going to help them in the long run.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Would Game 5 end up being a blessing in disguise? That you kind of you try to learn from that losing. As a former player, is that something you go to school on, those final 28 seconds of Game 5?
I'll tell you one thing, it's something that you lose sleep over. That's what happens. Hey, and you know what was interesting? I think it was Jalen Brunson that said after Game 5, it was quiet in the locker room. None of the players talked to each other. Everyone was pissed off at themselves. That goes to show you right there that they care, and they couldn't wait for Game 6. No matter how the distractions were going to be, no matter how many tickets, the Philly fans tried to buy and stop the Knicks fans from getting in the building, they were focused, and you could see how they came out. Now, obviously, they had to drop off, in the second quarter or whatever, but they stuck with it. And Tom Thibodeau stuck to his guns. I know a lot of people would love to see him go a little deeper into his rotation, maybe see a little bit more Alex Burks, especially with Bogdanovich being out. But, you could either roll over and lay down, or you could come back and respond the way that the Knicks did. But that's the leadership of Jalen Brunson.
We're talking about the odds for this Pacers series, and Kendrick, they're heavily favoring the Knicks. Do you think that's right? Is that about what you expect? Is the Knicks at a minus 280? How many games do you expect this thing to go?
Oh, it's going 6. It's going 6. The Knicks might get it in 5, but it's going 6. The Pacers, they haven't seen this level of physicality yet, right? And it's no disrespect to the Bucks, but the Bucks don't have the personnel that the Knicks do, right? You look at Pascal Siakam and what he done in that series against the Milwaukee Bucks. I believe the Knicks got an answer for him in OG Anunoby, right? And you look at Tyrese Halliburton, right? Although he didn't have that powerful moment in this series, they do have a Josh Hart for him. And so when I think about, how they could dominate on the offensive glass with the, Pacers in the regular season being one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the league, the Knicks are going to play their style. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Pacers respond and can they match their level of physicality for a 7-game series, which I believe is going 6, and I don't believe that they can.
Kendrick Perkins is our guest. Now, we mentioned the short rotation that Tibbs is going with. Hart plays every minute of every game, Kendrick. Is this going? I know that they've trained for this. They did it all year. They're not a load management team. But as the playoffs move on and the games become more intense, could that be an issue where they start to fatigue?
I think they built for it. I mean, I really believe so. I mean, this is the perfect situation and the perfect marriage. When you look at Tom Thibodeau and the players that he have around him that he's coaching right now, I mean, you can't get no better than that. Unless an injury happens, which, can happen in any series with any team, Tom Thibodeau is going to ride his horses. That's who Tibbs is. I played for Tibbs, obviously, when he was an assistant coach, and he's going to ride his horses. His thing is he's going to make you do what you need to do outside of the games, meaning are you getting your treatment? Are you getting in an ice tub? Are you getting your rest? Because for 48 minutes, I may need you for the entire 48 minutes. And I don't want to hear nothing else because I'm not going to shortchange you as a coach. I'm going to punch you in the clock. So, it could come back. I don't see it happening because they train for this. These guys are true professionals, and they want it. Again, he does have some guys that he could go to. I think, we will see a lot more Precious Achiuwa. And again, I would love to see some Alex Burks, in spurts. I think he's a guy that could come in and provide offense. And I think Tibbs needs to give him a shot.
Now, we've been having this conversation, Kendrick. I want to get your take. I think they miss Julius Randle. I mean, 25 and 10 is hard to replace. There are Knicks fans that call in and go, they're better off without him. Are they better with him or without him?
Jalen Brunson need another all-star caliber player on the side of him for the Knicks to complete the ultimate mission, and that's winning the championship, right? Do I think the Knicks could get to the NBA Finals? I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the injury of Kristaps Porzingis. But for them to complete the mission, you need Julius Randle. And the one thing that I do want the Knicks fans to do is to calm down when it comes down to Julius Randle, because I want them to, put themselves in his shoes at this moment. It's hard as hell when you've been in the trenches, when you've been in the culture for years, right? The highs, the lows, and your team is having success, and they're doing it without you, and there's nothing that you could do about it because you're sidelined with injuries. And so you think about the mental part of it. You want Julius to stay engaged. You want him to feel welcome. You want him to be there in the locker room, right? You want him to continue to support his teammates in great fashion and be, the teammate that he has always been. And so, I knew that was going to come, because, again, it's one series, right? So, come Monday, it's the start of another series. Do I think they're going to get past the Pacers? Yes. But I do think by the time they get to the Eastern Conference, the value of Julius Randle and what he brings to the table will be missed.
Now, we have to apologize, Kendrick, because when you were on with us last time, I asked you why, Shaq and Barkley don't think the Knicks are going to win, and you said because you didn't say it in a nasty way. You said they don't watch them all the time, and they got really ticked off, and they put your face on a punching bag during the studio shows. What's your reaction to the things they've said?
Oh, they'll be all right, and y'all don't have to apologize. Apologize for what? If it was a lie, the truth never have to address a lie. And I have great respect for both of those legends over there, Charles and Shaq. The only problem that I had with it is the calling out of, calling me out of my name as a roach. I had a problem with that. Other than that, it's all fun and games, and hopefully that made them up their game and actually start watching the games even more. I mean, but at the end of the day, this is not I've never been a guy that's, been sensitive about anything. And guess what? I've been called worse by better people.
Now, Kendrick, listen. So when this happened a week ago or so, and they responded, Michael sort of was of the standpoint of like, I'm not sure why they were so angry. I don't think he meant anything. Now, I did say though that I thought that you knew when you threw that out there, while it wasn't nasty, you did know that if they heard that, they'd probably feel away. No?
I mean, yeah, but, it wasn't. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't saying it out there for them to. I wasn't saying it. It came from a genuine place. I wasn't saying it to, like, ruffle feathers. I just said it, like, and I meant it. Like, it came from my soul. But, at the end of the day, man, Charles and Shaq, they've been having fun, man. Those are legends in the game. And I didn't take it personally at all. I actually thought it was real funny, and at the end of the day, it's not going to stop me from voicing my opinion on how I feel about the game of basketball. It's damn sure not about to stop me from coming and visit with you guys on the show, especially during this Knicks run. I'm going to continue to come on here and talk on the show, and it's not going to stop me from talking on television. So, I just, like my grandmother used to say, God bless their heart. They don't know no better, baby.
So, you're a tough dude. You're a tough player. So when you see they put your picture on a punching bag and they're, like, kicking it, that doesn't, like, bother you at all?
Because Michael will be upset.
It's on the punching bag. And two, we look, Charles is harmless, right? He just want to have a good time. Old Chuck is harmless. He's not going to bust a grape in a fruit fight and pour milk on cereal. And he ain't going to listen to it go snap, crackle, or pop. Again, it's all fun and games, and I love the response. I actually had a response for them, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, I'm good, because I didn't want to waste too much energy and going back and forth with them throughout this moment when I need to be focused on the playoffs, especially Big Body Brunson and the Knicks.
Beautiful.
Now, they did pick, they said the Pacers are going to beat the Knicks. Both of them said that.
They did?
Yeah.
They said the 76ers will go beat the Knicks.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? Outside, let me say this, though. Outside of Chuck and Shaq, I don't know what else the Knicks got to, like, continue to do to make people say, you know what? Hey, man, this is a really, really good, almost borderline great basketball team. And Jalen Brunson is a really, really he's a great basketball player. I mean, the man averaged 40-plus on the road, 40-plus. And I just don't understand, like, and even, like, last night I was listening to a lot of people, and they was just like, oh, yeah, they killed them on the offensive glass. That was the deciding fact. And I was just like, so we're just going to overlook these historical moments, individual moments that Jalen Brunson is having right now? We just going to overlook that he's leading the playoffs and scoring right now? Are we going to overlook that? Or when are we going to shine the light and say, you know what, he's for real. He's shown us who he is time and time again, and it's time for us to believe him.
Well, we appreciate you coming on with us and having fun with us, and you've been calling this for the last couple of months when you came on, so you're always welcome back here.
Well, I appreciate y'all, fellas, and y'all enjoy the weekend. I'm going to see who could push some Game 7s tonight. I think Orlando will. I think Clippers are going home.
Good enough. Thank you, Kendrick.
Appreciate you, man.
All right. Kendrick Perkins. So he didn't think, what was that? Charles wouldn't squish a grape in a fruit salad?
Yeah, that in a fruit fight.
In a food fight?
Yes.
But he didn't say Shaq wouldn't.
No, he didn't mention that. I'll tell you what, he was, this Kendrick was much more forgiving than Kendrick Lamar has been on his records the last
I love how you
days.
tied that together. You're so
see
brilliant.
How I brought it all together?
They don't give these jobs to nobodies.
No, that's right.